Here we are. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to another episode of the Love Change podcast. We're here with the lovely Kay. If you're watching, listening now, live, or in the forever future, thanks for sharing your time with us. If you're here, then you care about change. You know that it's not always easy, it's not always pretty, and it's not always neat and tidy. Actually, it might be the opposite.
Pretty painful at times.
Also, yes, far from comfortable. But we love it.
We do.
We love it either way. And today we're going to be talking about self forgiveness. What were we talking about last week? Do you remember?
Now you caught. Now you.
Oh, she doesn't, but you might know.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay. It's
It's
okay.
bad.
We
Can I look
ended.
it up?
You can't. You don't have any device to look it up. Everything is taken.
Oh my gosh.
That's okay. We all goldfish sometimes. I struggled a lot with remembering last week's episode. It was willpower, okay? For the ones who weren't paying attention, who the ones who thought of it. Last week we spoke about willpower,
Yep.
and we ended on a note thinking about maybe spending an episode speaking about faith. And as we love change, we changed that up again. And this week we're talking about forgiving yourself.
Yeah. Which came up today only. Which I
Today
think is
only.
also fair to be acknowledged.
It's a very
And,
hot topic for me today, so that's why I suggested it, and I'm happy that we can spend some time about the dynamics of self blame, guilt, feeling responsible, being loyal, all those things on one side, and truly forgiving yourself on the other.
yeah.
When I told you about the topic, what came to your mind when I said it?
Yeah, I think it's in some sense it's really when I always say if you let go of things then your hands are free, and I think it also applies here. I was like, yeah, if I would still, like, you cannot change the past, right? So if you beat yourself up, you still sit in that juice and in this energy of something that you cannot change, and actually you just don't make any space for something new.
Mm.
So I felt it's really a powerful topic because it is very connected to change. Like, you
Mm.
really, yeah, you just gotta, at some point you just really need to let go and be like, okay, I need to move on, and whatever mistakes I made, in the end they brought you where you are now, so they also have been good in some sense. And I think that's really important. And yeah, it's one of those discomforts in change, but I really felt it was a good
I think
topic
it's
today.
also discomfort in not change. Like even a lot of times when you stay the same also,
Hmm.
or when you struggle with changing, one of the things that holds you back is you not forgiving yourself. Like, what if
Yeah.
I make the same mistake again?
Hmm.
Or how could I have done such a stupid
Yeah, but
thing?
then what if I make the same mistake again? It's like reflection, like reflecting what you did in the past into the future.
Mm.
But then not forgiving yourself is like purely sitting in the past, like completely unchangeable events, situations.
I think if I take the self part out of it and just say about forgiving,
Mm-hmm.
so if I don't know, I upset you, some sort of
Mm-hmm.
behavior of mine, um, I think if you don't forgive me, then whenever I'm around, first of all, you will feel that energy, like, hey, that's that person that hurt me, and you will be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's the forgetting part, and I'm not saying forgiveness makes you forget, but if you are able to forgive, you might be able to start anew. So you're like,
Yep.
okay, let's wipe
Leave
this,
that
yeah,
behind.
wipe the slate clean. In Dutch, they say water under the bridge, or pull sand over it, just like these sayings, like just wipe it out,
Ah,
like
okay.
okay, like
In
leave it be.
German, you would say you let grass grow over it.
Also good,
That's a good one.
also good. Just
Mhm.
cover it up. No, that's not what
Yeah, and
it's
also
about.
it contains the component of time, eh?
It's
If
true.
you like let grass grow over it, it takes some time
Takes
to,
a
like,
season, yeah. It
yeah,
takes a year. It takes a year.
but it yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and if you take that towards yourself, like I'll just spit it out because that's what we're here for, to share honesty. I was having a coaching session today, and I was having a bit of a setback in my drive and motivation this morning. You were having a lot of great success with Superfood Pharmacy, and I was celebrating that for you. And then I was like, oh, look at Kay. She's been doing this for 6 months, and she's already like nailing things, and it's going consistently well.
Mhm.
And I've been trying this stuff for so long and not doing so great. And then I was feeling bad for myself, feeling guilty about all the time that I spent unfocused.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
as I was able to wash that off me, I went to take a shower, and then I came back, and I was like, okay, listen, I got a bunch of stuff in order. At least let me be happy about that.
Mhm.
I was having my coaching session. I was like, let's spend some time on that, because it's not a good place to be. Like comparing myself, judging myself, doubting myself. And as I was talking about, I was like, yeah, when I'm doing that, I'm completely disregarding the fact that I broke my neck, that my body is a big source of pain, that I need way more time for a bunch of stuff. A lot of the times I'm incapacitated. I just don't care about that. And I also never complain about these things. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to be grateful for life as it comes to me. And then as I was talking to her, I was like, yeah, somehow, some type of way, I made a bunch of decisions that led to me breaking my neck. And it almost feels like I am holding myself accountable for that accident
Mhm.
and not cutting myself any slack, or maybe even, uh, I don't know, better way to say it than like usually when something bad happens, and if there's another person involved, you have to forgive them.
Yeah.
Here, something bad happened, uh, and apparently I hadn't forgiven myself, but that also includes the aspect that I'm blaming myself. So
Mhm.
it was a bunch of weird thoughts, and I don't know if it makes sense if you're listening, but it did bring up the topic that I think matters, um, in change, in like realizing, hey, I was doing a bunch of stuff wrong, uh, and I forgive myself. It's okay. I know better now.
Mhm.
Or
But today you did.
today, I definitely let go of the fact that I am accountable for breaking my neck. I don't think that that was my conscious decision to like, okay, now it's time to fuck myself up or something.
I don't think we ever in that place, right?
No, but it is like I never bitch or moan about what happened to me.
Yeah, you really don't.
Uh, Nor all the things that stack on top of it.
Mhm.
Uh, and then I was like, is that because that is my character, or is that because, like, hey, if you put your hand in the fire, you gotta be willing to feel the blisters as well? Is it?
Okay, interesting view.
Yeah, but that is that incident. But I think if I take away from the whole accident and the neck breaking, etc., I do recognize the train of thought that is aligned with not forgiving yourself. Like, yeah, then and then I made a bad partner choice, and it cost me 2 3 years in a very flunky relationship.
Mhm.
How could I have done that? What was wrong with me? What was I thinking?
Mhm.
Instead of, actually, I was in love, and she was good looking, and we were having fun, and I didn't
In that
know.
moment, it
Yeah, and
was
I
right.
didn't know it was gonna end in a fiasco.
It would be good if we would know ahead. We would have not done plenty decisions. I would say,
Yeah, but besides the
like in hindsight, it's always
easier,
yeah.
smarter, but no, this is what I'm saying. In hindsight, or hindsight,
There we go again.
windsight. Are you forgiving yourself? You know, as you are in
Mm,
hindsight, saying, "Oh, those were a bunch of stupid choices," you're actually judging yourself,
yeah.
and there is no empathy or like understanding for the version of you which also still resides in you
Yeah.
that was also trying its best to navigate life.
I would, in some sense, disagree on the judging. I think it's just like in hindsight, you look at it and you're like, that was a crappy choice. It is judging, but it is also like knowing all the factors today. I can say that was a crappy choice, and there's not nothing bad in the judging.
You don't feel bad. You like if you when you talk about your 12 years in fashion and the things it cost you and where it put you, you're completely forgiving of.
No, not at all.
And
Not at
this
all.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if there is no judging, then what is there? Because there is no forgiveness, if I hear you correctly.
Well, no, 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 that's not true. No, I mean the judging part is like you can look back and be like, you can analyze it. That's what is important to say. Like it was a crappy choice to do A,
Mm.
B, C, D because that and that, and then you can let go, or you can sit and be like, ah, that was really a stupid choice. Man, I was so damn stupid. I was a dumb fuck. If you would
Yeah,
go
but
on in
what
that,
is the
this
case
is the
for you?
judging.
What is the case for you?
I have plenty moments where I'm like, Jesus Lord, if I would have done different things, I would definitely be in different places.
Mm.
Um, so I have those moments. I would even say often, but then at the same time, it like yeah, I always bring up my burnout example, but I think speaking with my therapist voice is like an awakening call. I really think that I needed to hit my head
Mm.
so many times against the same wall and push and swim upstream
Mm.
without moving forward to get to that place, because this is my part of swimming upstream and crossing the border to being stubborn and just pushing harder. Like I think now I just have a different perspective in the sense of knowing that when things don't come at ease,
Mm.
then I should just at least question and be like, maybe that's not a good choice. Maybe that's just not flowing. So
Mm.
maybe there's something not right in it.
Mm.
So I think I just have the wisdom now to look at it a bit differently, reflect it differently. While in the past, I was just like, okay, things don't flow. I'm just going to push harder. So I think,
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get at is how much have you forgiven yourself for all those times? I do hear you like, yeah, I needed that, and it was eventually a rebirth and awakening,
mhm,
etc. But as you said, plenty of moments that you do feel different about it.
yeah,
You know that you're not in that gratitude.
yeah,
You're actually like, fuck, look at where I'm at. I could have been in so many places,
yeah,
but because my eyes were closed back then
mhm,
to whatever truth there was,
yeah,
I'm here now, and I feel bad about it. So I'm angry at a version of myself.
mhm,
How do you forgive that part? How do you shift that? Because that's how I experienced it as I was saying it to her,
yeah,
my coach. I was like, yeah, okay, I do not forgive myself for that event. Like, I am responsible for it. I hold myself responsible for that event,
yeah,
whatever event.
yeah,
And a part of it is the forgiving part, like it was a bad thing. But then at the same time, I'm also like, yeah, I also don't thank myself because it also brought a lot of nice things.
yeah, yeah. I think that part I do more.
You thank yourself more.
At least like I try to bring myself into the present moment and be like, I like where I am right now. I like who I am.
Mhm.
So whatever those choices were, and it doesn't mean I stop with like just letting go of that. I'm by far not there, but at least bringing myself to that moment where I am now and the
Mm.
person I am now. Yeah, yesterday I said it for the first time. I'm really proud of myself. I
Mm.
realized it was really one of the very few times that I was really proud of myself.
Mm.
And that is also a portion of forgiving, you know? If you allow yourself to be proud of where you are and what you have achieved, then you also let go of certain portions of your past.
It's funny because if I think of opposites,
Yeah.
if I think of pride, I think of guilt. And if I think of shame, I think of forgiveness.
Okay.
Or
That's
is it the other
interesting.
way around? Is it?
I think they kind of almost mingle, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. Like if you read up on it, they say guilt is something that you are, something you did, and shame is something you are. Our wonderful friend Brene Brown is deep into that work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And shaming is about something you cannot do anything about.
Mm-hmm.
And guilt is about something you did and you can apologize for.
Mm-hmm.
But shame you can only feel and carry it for the rest of your life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you
Mm-hmm.
cannot change it.
Yeah.
Uh, and then you say, actually, the way I am forgiving myself is by allowing myself to be proud of myself,
Mm-hmm.
which is a great tool. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's a beautiful tool to be like, hey,
Think
actually,
putting it against or putting it facing each other, you know, and be like, there's much I can be proud of. And
hmm,
I like rarely have those moments where I stop and I'm like, wow. But yesterday was one of those. It was still not a wow. It was just like, oh,
no, I
I
was
felt something
reminding you of
inside.
it. I
Yeah,
was like,
exactly.
hey,
It was not
listen,
even born in me. It just really came from you.
no,
But then I was like, yeah, it came at the same time to also be like, whatever I did
hmm,
in those many years, I achieved today a little portion of where I want to be. So it brought me there.
hmm. And if you wouldn't be achieving, just to play the devil's
Yeah.
advocate, if like let's say
Mm-hmm.
first year of burnout, okay, you're full in it, you're feeling it, your body's messed up, your mind is cuckoo.
Most
Uh,
horrible year of my life.
huh?
Most horrible year of my life.
Yeah, how much forgiveness was there?
None. Zero. -10. Literally -10.
Yeah.
The only thing I was doing is beating myself with a stick more and more.
Mm,
There was like no forgiveness. I
mm,
was just weak. In my eyes, I was a loser.
mm,
Not being able to get up and function.
mm. Yeah, and also
And being just a
not
loser.
only not only the um, okay, you messed up and this is where you're at, uh, but also you messed up that first part, you
Yeah.
know, like how could you ever burn out? Like
Wonder Woman. Honestly.
rookie mistake,
Yeah, absolutely.
rookie
How
mistake.
could you like really allow yourself to break down?
So maybe it is a pride thing because you're too proud to admit that you also can stumble and fall.
I mean, people would always say I'm Wonder Woman, I'm Superwoman, and I just do everything, and I'm invincible. That's
Mm,
what I thought of myself.
yeah, you are.
In some
None of
sense,
that is
yeah.
not true.
But what I said also earlier is like really admitting to yourself and showing a vulnerability
Mm,
and a side that is weaker is very humane and just belongs to that. And now when I see people that speak up for themselves, are like, hey, I would love to do that and I would love to deliver, but I just can't because of XYZ,
mm,
it makes me, or I cannot deliver it now, I can deliver the project in 2 weeks. I'm really looking up to those people. I'm like, wow, someone is really aware, you
mm.
know? That's way more powerful than being like, yeah, yeah, sure. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put
I
on some
get
extra
that.
hours.
I get that. And that's an amazing thing. Though I'm thinking to myself, how much internal guilt am I still carrying though? Because I think I kind of felt as I was having this conversation with her
Mm-hmm.
that actually those moments that you can have few or plenty of that you feel bad about yourself,
Yeah.
the fuel or the source for those moments is actually not externally related, because you were having a great week and feeling shit about yourself.
Yeah.
Uh, I almost felt like the fuel for those weak moments that you're like beating yourself up or not satisfied, etc., is because there is like a level of internal blame going on,
Yeah.
and there is no forgiveness for that. There
Mm-hmm.
is like you haven't forgiven yourself, you're just blaming yourself
Mm-hmm.
for not being XYZ, or uh,
At
I'm this
places.
years old and I'm supposed to be there, but look where I'm at now because I made the wrong decision then and then. Um, I have to deal with this now.
But this is all born in comparison, right? Because I'm like, if I'm okay, I'm 39 years old, I should have been there, then I'm comparing.
Mm.
Whomever that is, maybe I'm not naming it, but I'm comparing.
Yeah, I think it's. I notice it definitely that I can feel bad about comparing.
That's what you did in some sense with me today.
Well, I think I was comparing like how much time and effort you or other entrepreneurs I know put into certain businesses to get them off the ground.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad about how much time and effort I was putting into mine,
Mm.
and not bad like, oh poor, yeah, a little bit poor me, I'm trying so hard and it's not working,
Mm-hmm.
but way more stupid me that I'm able to help all these people figure it out.
Mm.
But I'm not doing it for myself, and I've been spending so much time just spacing out and thinking my philosophy is gonna solve problems and make a business. Um, so I was more upset with my uh, process
Mm-hmm.
than my results.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, other people are just like, I was like, yeah, you really have to do it. You have got like a financial deadline for yourself, and there's no other option than to succeed. So you're like super driven, and I've created too much of a comfortable life for myself to be that driven. But all those things aside, I really felt like some part of it was just like, it's your fault, it's my fault, so to say. All people aside, there was this
Okay.
big no to, hey man, it's okay, you're doing great,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm. Yeah, it's funny that like when you say other people put a certain energy in taking it off the ground,
Mm.
I don't feel like that with my business at all.
You don't
To
feel
be
what?
honest, that it took off already.
Mm.
I'm still feeling it super baby level somewhere, but maybe that's just my glasses
I
now
don't
looking
think
at
you
it.
are where you will be in a year, definitely not, you're growing, but the foundations, uh, because I have seen the build of many
Yeah,
businesses.
I haven't. That's why maybe
Yeah,
I'm just still. I like all I
yeah.
want to say is I'm beating myself up every day that I'm not where I think I should be. Okay, so
This is maybe exactly the core of the thing. You are not you are beating yourself up every day for where you
mhm,
want to be, and that can be a driver and a source, but that is the same driver and source that puts you behind your desk on Sunday when you're tired and pushes you into tears
mhm,
because you're just tired, you just want to
mhm,
rest, and you're forcing yourself to work.
yeah,
Okay. And
yeah. It forces me into my old me.
exactly, exactly, and this is where I feel like it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Mm.
because you cannot forgive yourself for your old mistakes, you make the same mistakes again.
Yeah, yeah. In some sense, it makes sense.
And what do you need or require to forgive yourself for your old ways,
Mm.
to truly let them go and not repeat them?
I believe to have the awareness to just like really outwardly observe yourself to figure out if you're tapping into the old you
Mm.
or if you're approaching it another way,
Mm.
is already a good start.
Mm.
You know, if like I caught myself on Sunday being really upset, and then I was like, ah, actually, it's not because I'm working Sundays. I don't mind working Sundays, but I just got myself into my old me, my old
Not
habit.
listening to yourself.
Yeah, and also just like whatever you can do Sunday, you don't need to do Monday, so you have Monday free for other things. That will be like my mantra for years. Like work ahead.
Whatever you do Sunday,
You create space on Monday to do other things. Because I was always behind. Like the work would just not stop.
Mm.
Nothing would stop. You would go
But
to sleep,
that's
and 6 hours
that
later.
is not gonna change in life as an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Work will always be there.
yeah, but you also create a certain awareness of like, yeah, am I just pushing myself hard to just like work a whole day, or how productive am I?
But if we take it away from work, just to take a
Mm-hmm.
segue, okay, it's all about work, work, work. Life is about more than work. Blaming and feeling guilty about yourself and behavior does not happen only in the realm of career. Okay, we have relationships, we have friendships, um, we have personal decisions that we make regarding to our family.
I have a good example.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go.
Recently, I realized how much headspace I would spend in like my times of eating disorder on thinking about how much that food is bad for me. I shouldn't eat that. Like really beating myself up whenever I would eat a meal, be like, oh my gosh, you're such a loser. You should move your ass, etc., etc. Really recently, I was just eating sandwich because I was hungry. I was not thinking about it, and then afterwards, I was like, look at yourself. Look at that sandwich that you just inhaled
It's no
without
tiny sandwich we're talking
using
about.
any headspace on beating yourself up. And I was just like, you're such a stupid fuck. You have been beating yourself up for so many years.
Mm.
And actually, you seriously like, no shit, you have the same body as you had when you've been beating yourself up. Why have you been so dumb ass for so many years?
Exactly. This is a
Yeah.
great example.
I think it's really good.
It's a great example.
It really made me realize, and I was like, geez, if I would have used half of that headspace for something really productive, wow,
Or just fun or life.
whatever.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, it would be insanely where I could be.
So here you are making a balance like, hey, past me cost me 10 years of negative energy, and then you're like, stupid me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is exactly a seed for guilt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then next time you feel bad about something, you might return to not eating or feeling bad if you ate. How do you forgive the fact that you, for so many years, were not even having fun? You were struggling with the eating disorder.
Struggling with everything. Struggling with seeing a plate of food in front of me. I don't. Really, no, I don't. It's not easy to forgive yourself for like wasting so much time and so many just like amazing years for that shit in your head. But at the same time, you need to get to this place of awareness that I am today, you know, and be that open minded and just free to know that this was something that at that time was blocking that much of my headspace. It's just I cannot, no, I'm really not there yet to forgive myself. But I was really like, when I was thinking about it, I was
That's
just
a
like,
shame.
wow. But it at the same time, it's not something that I sit in every day. You know, I have those moments where I get reminded of. Then I'm like, wow, look at you.
I just think it's a unnecessary weight to carry again. So imagine the day that you forgive yourself and they're like, oh, look how many years I was blaming myself for this stuff. Why did I forgive myself so late? You know? I had the, and that's the thing. A lot of moments in life, I'm really able to say better late than never. I'm really happy that it
Absolutely.
happened later, better later than never, and it's never too late. You can always share, shift, and grow and change.
Yeah.
And again, maybe it is just a sidetrack of your mind that you're like discussing with yourself the things you caused yourself because of poor decisions. Just like my recent Bitcoin fiasco.
That's a good one.
That's a very
That's a
recent,
very good one.
recent short-term thing. And this is an interesting one because I made a bunch of trades that were based on great knowledge and awareness. Like, hey, I'm securing some profits here, reducing my loss. And then I discovered that actually I missed out on way more profit.
Mm-hmm. So you forgot to see the profit, and
And
you just started to see the more profit
yeah, I
and
was
the
like, oh, I
loss.
lost myself so much. Well, actually, I did great. I'm happy. Okay.
Yeah, you basically reversed it. If you see it like that, you started to see the plus, not as a plus. It was just like
Yeah, I lost out on more.
yeah,
And this is exactly
this is
the,
greed.
yeah, but yeah, no, but in the money sense, it is definitely greed.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about life and
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, so many years I cost myself so much energy and
Mm-hmm.
bad headspace, you dumb stupid bitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's also greed, or
Mm-hmm.
is it something else? It is hunger. It is also the desire for liberation and just to live comfortably. Um, but I think this practice of truly forgiving yourself, like I have been in relationships that were bad for me. And then at some moment I wake up, I'm like, no, this is bad for me. I get out. But actually, I was being lonely. So I got back in because I was like, okay, it's just a temporary thing. I'm going to cross this period without being lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And then it multiplies and ramifies and it hurts me way more. And then I'm really blaming myself for like keeping my eyes wide shut because I knew what was coming. I knew what was going on. I knew it wasn't like my intuition was telling me it's off. Uh,
Yeah, but sometimes you also need to rub your face double in it, no?
it is true. It is true. But I'm thinking of those moments. Am I forgiving myself? I'm definitely learning from it. You know, it's a big learning experience, like super painful.
Yeah.
Also, my accident, super big learning experience, super painful. But just to realize that, hey, if you are like experiencing such a big shift, such a big change, then that delta, that difference
Mm-hmm.
stretched out over time creates a certain guilt
Mm-hmm.
towards yourself, which is completely useless. It's
Almost desperation.
why?
Yeah, you like, yeah, you desperate of like if I could have those years back, you know? That's how I mean it. What could I have done with it?
Not realizing with what you can do now.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think definitely forgiving yourself maybe is the key to living in the present instead of the past.
Mm-hmm.
I think this train of thought that I experienced this morning is something I don't experience that often. Is to be like, oh, boo fucking who, it's been taking me so long and so much effort. I never look back. I'm always looking at the one or two steps ahead of me and
Mm-hmm.
thinking of a brighter future.
Mm-hmm.
And just a little detour in, oh, you took 6 months to get from A to where you are now?
Mm-hmm.
And how long have I been taking to get from A to where I am now?
Mm-hmm.
And just feeling bad about that. Well, I actually know that that is a horrible way to gain motivation or inspiration or energy.
It's the opposite.
Yeah, it's just a big,
Yeah.
big dark hole that you can just dive in and never come back. So actually, the it will be more inspiring. Like, oh, if she can do that in 6 months, imagine what I can do in six.
Mm.
Now that I have found my focus and am surrounded by the people who can motivate me.
Mhm.
Or if you would put it in the realm of relationships, how could I have made that mistake? Why did I make that mistake? Oh, I shouldn't have made that mistake. No, actually, I've learned from that mistake and it's okay. I'm happy I made that mistake. I'm happy I made that mistake. I'm grateful for the learning experience and I'm gonna apply it to everyday life today.
Mhm.
But it's definitely not an easy one, I think.
I find it just really interesting the comparison of the two businesses
It's
that we
apples
have.
and oranges.
It's no, it's like apple and pineapple.
Okay.
It's
It's
completely
more the
like
same, no?
it's whole different thing. Maybe
Which
it
one
sounds
is the
the same.
pineapple? We have a pineapple here. You can judge yourself.
Should I get an apple?
Do we also
No,
have apples?
honestly, we have apples somewhere. Pineapple
It's our cool pineapple. I don't
and
know why I needed
apple.
to introduce this
I
persona
don't know
into.
too, but it's complete different
It
thing. I
is,
have
it
a
is. I
product
know, but
in a
that's the
price
thing. No, but
range that
listen,
people don't think.
I was just bummed out about having helped plenty of entrepreneurs get their business straight,
Yeah,
and I feel like I haven't gotten mine straight. You know, and maybe it's because I need help getting mine straight. Maybe some parts of it you just need somebody to help you with it.
could also be. But I
Yeah,
also believe that yours is way more complex. Maybe at least that's how I see it.
thank you, thank
Some
you.
people
I'm
tell
just
me
screwed.
that mixing 8 signature blends is beyond comprehension for them.
Well,
For me, it's not. For me,
no, it took your natural talents and gifts and in intuition and knowledge and
kind of old woman knowledge. I don't know. Some like really ancient.
I know it's difficult to compare a coaching business to
Yeah,
what would
like
you call your business?
I have wellness product.
Wellness,
I have like
physical.
physical product. You don't.
I
Okay, I
don't.
have my consultations, but you don't.
Mm.
That's like it's really for me. That's why I was like, wow, that's so interesting that you compare those two things.
No, but I was also as I was thinking, and I was like, look, man, you knew all these things. You knew that you don't like the service industry, and where did you took a dive into? Like the biggest service
But
industry.
that's a different thing. That's a
Yeah,
different
yeah, but
curve you're
I
coming from.
know, but I knew when I was doing this, I was doing it to eventually make a scalable product that uses technology. And I still have that belief in dream. So as I
Yeah,
was thinking that, I was like, no, listen, actually, you're laying the groundwork, you're building the foundations. It's a longer term process. Eventually, it is something else. It's a different ball game, and maybe this is where my talent is at.
I think the whole horizon thinking. If you think about making that a scalable product, it's just like, what are we comparing? We're comparing
Ah,
signature.
but
You know,
no,
that's the
but
whole
you
point.
shouldn't be comparing.
No, but
First of
that's what
all,
you do. In some sense, you do. You're like, look at her. How far did she got?
I think I was just upset with my own progress for a moment,
Yeah.
and then I reclined to comparing and feeling bad about the past. And I think the important part of it is um, feeling bad about the past.
Yeah, but what is interesting for me in that sense is also to bring it back to your accident.
Mm.
Because that's, I don't know, I kind of like, I really couldn't grasp it. We've been talking about it earlier, and I was like, I just kind of don't get it because I'm like, if you wouldn't have had your accident, you would not be doing what you're doing now.
Mm.
You would not be the person who you are, etc., etc. But you
Mm.
would absolutely not be doing what you're doing.
Difficult to say. It is just very difficult to say. Don't know.
I don't think at least you will be telling people how to deal with change, the way you're dealing with change.
No.
Being
Those
a
two.
role model, being an inspirational person as
Mm.
you are, you probably would not be talking about that.
No.
That
No.
kind of
That's
I can
pretty.
say.
No. Yeah,
So
and
it's
that's
like
that's great. That's
blaming
the
the source of who you are now.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you're
That's why
doing
I
with that.
found it so conflicting.
Yeah, conflicting is.
It was a very conflicting train of thought. And I'm not saying it is the truth or that I believe in it. I'm just saying that it made me realize that there is so much value in forgiving yourself.
Mm.
You know, in change. Like if you truly want to love change,
Mm.
a big tool for that is the fact that you forgive yourself for all the days and hours and months and weeks and years that you did not change. You know, that can be a driving force to change faster,
Mm.
better, harder, longer, today, tomorrow, and in the future.
I think if you rephrase it into being fuel, that's amazing.
No, yeah, I think it is. I think if you do
Yeah.
forgive yourself, then it's an ongoing, perpetual.
Yeah,
Oh, what did I
accelerator.
learn today? Oh, I did not know that yesterday. Damn, but that's okay, man. I appreciate you. I love the effort, and I salute you getting back at it again. And it's all good. It's all
Yep.
good. Good for you.
Yep.
Instead of what you just said, how could I have spent so much time and energy on that? Yeah, I think it's valuable.
Hmm.
How do you feel about today?
I think it was pretty much insight and yeah, moments of realization.
Mm.
I think that's really good. And yeah, this whole idea like we're reminding yourself where you are and not get stuck in the past
Yeah, or some future.
or some future is really yeah, I think that I feel like the past is, I don't want to judge, but I would say it's like even worse getting
Then the
stuck in the
future.
past. Yeah, because you really like you almost like dragging something behind.
Mm.
In the future you're like, okay, I have million options. If I do them, then I can be there, but it's like you don't know, so you look at it differently, you know.
Mm.
But if you think, if I would have only done that and that and that, ha, I'd be this and that. This is just really, it has so much heaviness.
The past.
Yeah, if you see it like that, if you're not letting go and not forgiving yourself,
I
it's
think the
really
most
heavy.
interesting thing is if you look at the past, you act like you had two clear options. You know,
That's what I mean. Like only in
whereas
hindsight is where you're smart, and you're like, ah, that was really a damn. It was really a dumb move. Yeah, right. Today I can say that.
yeah,
Today you like, if I wouldn't have sold my shares that early, yeah, okay, great.
very true, very true.
So
What do you have
yeah.
in mind for next week's episode?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? Again, caught off guard.
I don't know.
Well, we'll let you know. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your lovely comments. I see a lot of people are tuned
Yes.
in.
Yep.
Love
Thank
change.
you.
Love
It's
change
amazing.
loves you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next
Love
week.
change out for today, for tonight.
Love
We'll
change
see you next
out.
week. Bye, people.